Hello there, and welcome back to World of Warship Legends with Durka, where today we are trying our hand out in the newest ranked season. So far, we have been playing in the Marblehead and having pretty good luck, as I feel most comfortable in that ship. Today, the topic, kind of talking about what our role is in ranked, depending on what ship you're playing. We are using Norman Scott on this build with Makawa and Yamamoto. Burn it down XXL, igniter, armed and ready, fixated, and refill station. So, a little disclaimer first. Let me start by saying I consider myself an average player. I don't claim to be great. I'm always learning, trying to get better, but I will say that I have a decent amount of experience and hopefully can pass on some of that knowledge. What I noticed today in the 7 ranked battles that I did was that there are a lot of green players, and rank is kind of supposed to be pretty competitive. People are here playing to win, not really for the XP, not grinding lines, not here for damage, really just here to win. So I would also start by saying that if you're testing out your new hybrid gunboat build on your Mitsuki, maybe save it for standard matches where you'll probably be on my team. So, at the most basic elements of World of Warship Legends, we can look at the destroyer, the cruiser, and the battleship. Each one serves as a kind of check and balances system, like rock, paper, scissors. Destroyers can easily torp and kill battleships in close range. Cruisers can easily gun down destroyers and dodge torpedoes, and battleships can easily blast cruisers out of the water. This kind of helps us establish what our role would be with what ship you're using. In ranked, we're playing domination, so a destroyer, your main role is going to be spotting, capping, and contesting caps. And notice I said spotting first. Especially here on straight, the middle cap, if there is a destroyer on your team or you are the destroyer, there's going to be a destroyer on the enemy team and you are going to be going for the same cap. Chances are, 75% of the time, you're going to be contesting that cap with an enemy destroyer unless they're playing pretty passively. So, by outspotting the enemy destroyer, lighting them up for all of your teammates back here with bigger guns, your cruisers and battleships, you can help get that destroyer out of the match and open the way up for you to do your second job, contesting and capping. Destroyers also can use torpedoes as kind of a deterrent, keeping the larger ships at bay for fear of getting torpedoed. Cruiser roles. That's me here in the Marblehead. Number 1. Killing destroyers, getting them out of the match. That would be the most important thing. If unable to do that, kind of go to the next task, and that would be killing cruisers. That would be the next most time-effective thing that I could do. Finally, after that, contesting caps and really just keeping yourself alive would, be the next follow-up thing you can do. Cruisers are very squishy, especially at tier 4. Besides probably the Japanese Furitaka, maybe would be the tankiest cruiser, but they're very easy to die in, and you are going to have a much more successful time if you can just keep yourself alive and play the long game. Last but not least, battleships. Your main job is going to be murdering cruisers. Focusing fire on them, getting them out of the game, killing them as quickly as possible to free up and protect your destroyers. Battleships also have the important job of holding firing lines, keeping cruisers pinned down and from moving, kind of like my situation here in the Marblehead. Battleships have the largest HP pools, so it's also one of your jobs to stay alive. If the destroyers are dead, you can be a little more aggressive in battleships, push, tank for your cruisers, etc., etc. Looking at this map, one of the better ways that you could play these American light cruisers, or maybe any cruiser on this particular map, would be using one of these 4 islands for cover. The north spawn definitely has the advantage because the island in the northeast is easier to shoot over than the island in the southwest. But either way, using one of these islands for cover to shoot from could be the best thing that you could do. Just playing defensively and trying to stay alive. Now, most of this match, these two battleships have been moving forward unchecked. That is mostly because our two destroyers went around the east side of the map, so there is really nothing for these two battleships to fear. They can sell up here relatively unopposed, bow tanking the battleship behind me, and, weathering by golden showers. And that is one of the reasons why, if you were in a destroyer, you want to play this center lane. In fact, I would say for all of the ships, if you are not comfortable with really reading situations or what the enemy team is doing, your safest bet would be to play here in this middle passage, contesting the caps, shooting at anybody sailing into B. You're probably going to have you're going to do the most good for your team if you're playing here in the middle. If you're a little more advanced player and you see an opportunity for a flank and cross fire shooting situation, that would be good too. But you have to be careful moving around the sides of the flanks in the early game. One reason why is really because it's a gamble at the beginning. If you don't know how the enemy is deploying, say you are in a battleship and you sail around the edge of the map and you sail right into a kamikaze, there's nowhere to maneuver, you are going to be sent back to port relatively quickly. Or say you're in a kamikaze and you sail around the corner right into a Königsberg. There's a high probability with his sonar and fast guns that, again, you're going to be dead and heading back to port. So that's why I would, be very cautious pushing flanks like that unless you are with maybe a division mate in a different class of ship that could help support you, and you're kind of playing as a team that way. So at this point, finally, the Bretonnet sailed up into our teammates over here on the east that had a good line of fire on him, a good crossfire situation. So we're hoping to finally torpedo this New York and to get free of this island so I can move up, be a little more aggressive, hunt the destroyers like I should be doing, and even get in these caps. So we go ahead and switch to armor piercing, which is devastating in the Marblehead. Any of these tier 4 cruisers, you should not be sailing them sideways. It is a good opportunity to get wrecked. So we're cautious coming around the corner because I don't want the New York to turn around and blap us, but we do get him with the torpedoes, so we're free to sail on up into B. About this time, I noticed that our Mitsuki on our team has made it all the way around past their spawn, and he is being chased down by the Omaha. Now, on this channel, I'm going to make it a point to never dog on any players because we were all, new at one point, and, try to find the silver lining in everything. So, here's the silver lining. Right now, this Mitsuki is pulling the Omaha away from me. The Omaha's not resetting me. He's allowing me to get B and eventually to move into A. So this is actually, it's kind of a valuable play. So thank you to the Mitsuki for helping our team get this cap and also letting me shoot at the Omaha unopposed. All of his attention is on you. And, every play, you can find the caveat or the good in it. They are still up on points at this time, but by getting into A, we should catch up relatively quickly. So finally, here at the end of the game, we can do really what I'm intended to do, and that is to find these destroyers and get them out of the match. Notice here it says that I am targeted, and the Omaha still had his attention on the Mitsuki. That means that one of these destroyers around here is looking at me. It has to be the Farragut since the enemy Mitsuki is way off over there at the edge of the map. So we're going to finish the Omaha off and then take some evasive maneuvers and put it in reverse as soon as we get into the next cap. At this point, kind of want to do a quick little recap of all the stuff that we talked about. Quick synopsis. You're playing a destroyer. You want to be spotting, capturing the objective. In light cruisers, you want to be killing destroyers, followed by killing cruisers, looking for broadside opportunities, capturing objectives, and staying alive. In battleships, we want to be killing cruisers, shooting at destroyers when you're able to, and remembering to be more aggressive when the destroyers are dead. Gives you a lot more freedom. You can push up, be supportive, your guns will be more accurate, and don't play from the back of the map. If the destroyers are dead, you can be a lot more aggressive without anything to fear. On this particular map, straight, playing the middle lane is going to be the safest bet and probably the best thing that you could do for your team. And, unless you're a really advanced player, then maybe you can play it on the fly until you know your enemy ship movements. Playing the middle lane is the safest bet until you see how everyone is deploying. Using the islands for cover, if you're a cruiser player and even a battleship player, that would be a good way to improve your longevity. And like this game pointed out, be patient. We were down by 2 caps most of the game and had a disadvantage, but by being patient, biding our time, waiting for the right opportunity, we were still able to come out and get the victory on this one. So that's going to wrap it up for this ranked battle here. If you guys have other strategies, tips, ideas, please comment them below. Would love to hear from you guys. And, I definitely know that I'm not the greatest player in the world, but hopefully I said some things that were of value here. But thank you guys so much for listening, and leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'm hoping to do another video on maybe battleship and destroyer play in ranked. All right, see you guys.